Despite industry experts warning him about the materials used for the submersible, Stockton Rush has continued using the Titan and charging passengers for $250,000 per seat to get a glimpse of the unsinkable ship's wreckage. And with its doomed final expedition last month carrying 4 other passengers with him, people have been questioning if the Oceangate CEO deliberately ignored safety concerns and just proceeded with his obsession. But not everyone believes Stockton Rush is someone who will just ignore safety like it was nothing. Keep watching till the end of this video to see why the Oceangate CEO, Stockton Rush, is really innocent. Stockton Rush defended by previous sub-passengers. Almost everyone believes that Stockton Rush has the biggest accountability for the tragedy that happened to the doomed Titan submersible, carrying alongside him 4 other passengers. But Aaron Newman, a previous passenger of the sub in 2021, who also became one of the company's investors, does not think the same thing. He believes that the Oceangate CEO is serious about safety to the point of even putting his life just to prove it. He did not favor people saying that Rush did not give any importance to safety. Newman confidently said, "Safety was the biggest concern. Safety was very important to Rush." He knew that Rush tried something new and unfortunately it bit him, while calling him a hero, innovator, and visionary whose only passion was to create accessibility to explore the depth of the ocean. The entrepreneur continued to defend Stockton Rush and said, "Stockton was always the first one in the sub. He was there along with it, he wasn't sending other people out to do it, and it was his passion. He loved to be in it. He loved to be on the cutting edge." Newman wanted to speak for Rush since the Oceangate CEO couldn't defend himself anymore after tragically dying during the sub's implosion. "It's very easy to armchair quarterback the day after. I just think people love to throw stones, especially at a guy who can't defend himself," he said. On the other hand, David Pogue, a CBS reporter who wrote on Oceangate Submersible in 2022, seemed to have the same thoughts as Newman and believed that Rush was not a con man like everyone else is saying. But the Oceangate CEO was passionate about what he was doing and truly believed in it. "But I don't think Rush was a con man. He genuinely believed in his design, enough to trust it with his own life many times over," he said. Many people have thought the implosion was the kindest way for the sub's passengers, instead of slowly suffocating to death, since recovering the sub as a whole would face challenges. But a former Oceangate advisor, Rob McCallum, said the Titan submersible dropped its ballast moments before it went missing. This suggests that the 5 people inside were trying to abort the dive when it imploded, and might have even struggled for their lives, hoping they can resurface again. The report that I got immediately after the event, long before they were overdue, was that the sub was approaching 3,500 meters, he told a news outlet. McCallum said the submersible had dropped weights, a possible attempt to resurface, then losing communication with its mothership. McCallum also said that dropping weights does not necessarily mean the dive was aborted. "We don't know," he said. "We will likely never know." 5 people onboarded the sub that catastrophically imploded, including a multi-millionaire who dreamed of being the first man on Mars and Oceangate CEO Stockton Rush, Hamish Harding, the chair of the private plane firm Action Aviation, Paul-Henri Nargeolet, a former French Navy commander also known as Mr. Titanic, Shahzad Dawood, a UK-based vice chair of the Pakistani chemicals to energy conglomerate Anglo Corporation, and his 19-year-old son, Sulman Dawood. While the U.S. Coast Guard reportedly discovered presumed human remains from the sub debris recovered from the wreckage site, the evidence is still being analyzed by the Marine Board of Investigation. Oceangate avoiding legal liabilities. Oceangate's liability about the doomed Titan submersible has been questioned by many. Although jurisdictional issues and waivers signed by the sub's passengers can prevent a lawsuit, misinterpreting safety could provide a potential legal route. A lawsuit is unlikely unless the company misrepresented the safety of the submersible, Richard Daynard, a Northeastern University School of Law professor, said. The potential dangers were made clear to all passengers of the exploration. Previous expedition crew who onboarded the submersible described signing extensive waivers accepting the possibility of injury or death. Mike Reese, who onboarded the Titan last year, said, "You sign a massive waiver that lists one way after another that you could die on the trip, so nobody who's in this situation was caught off guard. You all know what you were getting into." Daynard says that with a waiver like this, a complainant has to prove Oceangate was negligent in its actions. But he also added that if the company misrepresented the sub's safety to its passengers, a lawsuit could be possible. Multiple reports have emerged where industry experts have warned the company about safety concerns of using carbon fiber-based hull. The submersible, which was designed to be steered using a video game controller, wasn't even within the industry standards. James Cameron, a film director and deep dive expert, even said that the hull has no strength in compression. According to a 2018 court filing, former Oceangate employee David Lockridge raised concerns about pressure cycling, to which invisible flaws in the hull could lead to larger tears after being exposed to repeated pressure changes. The company sued Lockridge that year for allegedly breaching a non-disclosure agreement, but after several months, the case was settled on undisclosed terms. In an interview in 2021 with Mexican YouTuber Alan Estrada, Rush acknowledged that he had broken some rules by using carbon fiber in creating the sub. "I think I've broken them with logic and good engineering behind me. Carbon fiber and titanium? There's a rule you don't do that. Well, I did," he said. He moved forward and built the Titan submersible. Rush declined to follow the industry standards and complained about the regulations. He said, "There hasn't been an injury in the commercial sub industry in over 35 years. It's obscenely safe because they have all these regulations, but it also hasn't innovated or grown because they have all these regulations." The Titan, which cannot be submerged and returned to port on its own like a submarine, was expressly built by Stockton Rush's company to allow tourists to visit the Titanic wreckage. It is known that submersibles have limited power reserves and should be supported by a vessel above for launching and recovery. GPS is not an option for this type of vessel, but it uses a special text messaging system for communication and instructions. The pilot controls the Titan through a $30 modified video game controller. Rush said last year that piloting the sub shouldn't take a lot of skill. Titan submersible low success rate of reaching the Titanic wreckage. It was reported that Oceangate's Titan submersible has only completed less than 15% of its attempted dives to reach the Titanic wreckage. The company began using its two subs, the Titan and Cyclops, in 2021, where it completed more than 14 expeditions and 200 dives in the Pacific, Atlantic, and Gulf of Mexico. Brian Weed, one of the former passengers of the doomed Titan sub, told a news outlet that the sub had failed a test dive in 2021. They never made it further than 100 feet because the thrusters stopped working and were stuck underwater for more than 2 hours. Tests at the Deep Ocean Test Facility found that the Titan sub carbon fiber hull showed signs of fatigue at lower depths, decreasing its depth rating to far less than what was needed to reach the Titanic wreckage. And this has led Oceangate expeditions to cancel planned dives to the Titanic in 2018, 2019, and 2020. In a 2018 video posted on the company's YouTube channel, Rush described the glue they used to hold the carbon fiber sub's structure together as being like peanut butter, and that it was pretty simple and was thicker than Elmer's glue. The CEO also admits that if we mess it up, there's not a lot of room for recovery. Investigators from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, the Transportation Safety Board of Canada, the French Marine Casualties Investigation Board, and the UK Marine Accident Investigation Branch are also working closely on the probe. So do you think Stockton Rush really knows what he's doing even after being warned by industry experts, just as Aaron Numa suggests? Or do you think he's just really obsessed about the Titanic that he was just looking for people to fund his obsession? Join the conversation and let us know in the comments below.